Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have the overview of the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, this episode can very thankfully be split into 5, possibly 4 very clear sections, and I'm going to take you guys through them one by one. Firstly, we have Sam and his Avengers story. Well, his story in terms of his superhero stuff after Endgame. So, after Avengers Endgame, Cap has obviously passed away. He has no Cap anymore. So, he's decided that he's going to go work for the US government again. So, Sam is now working with the US government as the Falcon still, but I don't believe he's under the Avengers banner anymore. I doubt anyone is, because let's face it, they lost their 2 head figures in Endgame, Iron Man and Captain America, so they're probably disbanded again. So, yeah. So Sam is now working with the American government, and working to bring down a terrorist organisation, I believe, called LAF. They have kidnapped an American army captain, and Sam's mission is to get him back before they fly into Libyan airspace and cause a war. And Sam managed to get him back with about 5 seconds of flight time to spare, because the guy who was with him on the ground, Lieutenant Tfatws, who appears to be a main character, was guiding him towards Libyan airspace and saying, "Sam, abort, you have 90 seconds until you're in Libya." And then, lo and behold, in the last 5 or so seconds, he swoops in, gets back the American army captain, destroys the LAF's helicopter, kills most of them, except one guy, who I think is going to come back at some point, and saves him. And then we move on to the second part of the story, which is switching over to Bucky for his therapy. As Bucky's now in therapy, as, he's still recovering from his Russian Winter Soldier days. You know, he's not very mentally well, which is perfectly understandable. He's been through hell of a lot in his life. Was reported dead for like 7 decades, much like Steve was. He then came back, only to lose Steve again a few years later. So poor Bucky has been through the ringer quite a lot, and he's in therapy now, which is amazing to see for him. He's got a pardon from the US government for his crimes as the Winter Soldier while he was brainwashed. And of course, he's got 3 conditions to his pardon, which are no injuring people, he has to remain a civilian, and he has to hang up the title of the Winter Soldier. Yeah, no injuries, no manhunts, no Winter Soldier. So he's just plain old Bucky Barnes now, which is quite an interesting thing to see, because, you know, Bucky is very much a soldier, and it's kind of weird to see him as not that. Anyway, I'm going to move back to Sam for a moment, because we see both of our titular heroes in their home lives. And we see Sam first. And Sam is going back to his family for the first time in a long time, it would appear. He sees his nephew, sees his sister. Their fishing business that they have is not doing well at all. In fact, Sam's sister is fully ready to sell their boats, but Sam's like, no, you have an Avenger as a brother, let me help. He tries, he fails, because the blip happened, and he had no finances for 5 years, because, you know, he kind of low-key didn't exist, so can't really earn any money if you don't exist anymore. The bank turns him away, and then that storyline disappears for the rest of the episode. And then we head to Bucky, who has a callback to earlier in the episode. I'll get to that in a moment. He's friends with an old man called Mr. Nakajima. He's a very nice old man, and he actually helps Bucky get a date. Even though it's not what Bucky wanted, by the sounds of things, it's what he needed. Or what Mr. Nakajima thought he needed, because it didn't go so well. And at the end of that date, Bucky realised something. That was a guy he killed as the Winter Soldier a few years ago. We can tell it was a few years ago because he still had the Russian star on his arm, and he still had the long hair and the mask that he had in Civil War, so we know it's a long time ago. well, not Civil War, the Winter Soldier. And it was Mr. Nakajima's son. Yeah, so Bucky went into a bit of a downward spiral after that, but again, we don't know what happened, as that's where Bucky's story ended for this episode. So, anyway, the final moments of the episode were amazing, because in the beginning moments of the episode, which I forgot to mention, Sam leads a little memorial for Cap. We didn't see his funeral, but we saw like a memorial for him. Rhodey was there, which is really cool to see, by the way. And we see Sam have the Captain America shield put into a glass case. And there's a whole Captain America memorial. We see his suit, his shield. I think his old traditional shaped shield that we saw in First Avenger was there. And his bike from World War II, which was really cool to see. But in the final moments of this episode, Sam got a bit annoyed. As America, well, the American government revealed the new Captain America to the world. It wasn't Sam, it was another guy. Completely different man. Sam is understandably a bit ticked. You know, he said to the US government, nope, there shouldn't be another Cap ever again. Not me, not anyone. Because it was, as I mentioned in the last video about this, it was Steve's final wish for Sam to be Captain America. Sam didn't want the role, that was fine. That's up to him. But what happened to Captain America should have also been up to him. Because again, the original Captain America, Steve Rogers, left the fate of the Captain America mantle in Sam's hands. So any decisions should have really been through Sam. Because Sam turned on the TV, saw the new Captain America, and you could just see in his face that he was ready to kill somebody. He was furious. And honestly, I don't blame the guy. So, yeah, next episode, it's going to be an interesting one. I think we will see that famous football game scene that we've been seeing throughout all the trailers for this. You know, where the new Captain America goes up to high-five the leader of the marching band for this football game. So, I think that's when that'll come in. Hopefully we'll see Baron Zemo next episode, as we didn't see him in this one. Oh, wait, there's one last thing as well. There's a new terrorist organisation that's popped up. Their symbol is a red hand print. Lieutenant Torres was able to infiltrate them and gather some information about them and find their leader and promptly get beaten up by him. So, yeah, poor Torres, he didn't do too good. He did well, he didn't die, but he didn't do too good either. So, I think Lieutenant Torres is going to be a very interesting character. I do think I'm going to be keeping my eyes on him to see where his character goes. So, yeah, that is my overview of the first ever episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, as always, guys, don't forget to like this video. Of course, I don't know how I'm doing the pointing thing yet. I'm not there yet. So like this video. Subscribe to my and Roxanne's YouTube channels. Her link is in the link tree in the description. My sub button is down there. Yep, that big red one. Unless you've already subscribed, then it's grey. Thanks, by the way. Comment as well, because why not? And let me know what you thought of this first episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Roxanne and her blog. And those links are also in the link tree in the description, which is right at the top of the description, all pretty much. And lastly, of course, can't forget this part. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing and hitting the bell icons, commenting, following, and sharing. And around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video on the Six Nations probably. Bye!